Good morning everyone. Hello, this is Shipra ma'am and you are most welcome to Shipra ma'am's class. Students, as you are facing the problem of pandemic and you are not able to go to the schools, and I know you people are missing your schools very much, and I am too badly missing my students, so that I have decided to teach them online free of cost. And just you need to do what you have to subscribe my channel, you have to like it and share with your other classmates, okay, so that they are also able to understand the concepts of science. So let's start. Today I am gonna start chapter 2nd of biology of class 8th ICSC board. In this chapter I have divided the chapter into 3 major parts. Firstly, we will discuss reproduction, types of reproduction and modes of asexual reproduction. Then we will discuss about sexual reproduction in plants, and at last we will discuss about the sexual reproduction in animals. Okay, so firstly we will start the first part, that is the introduction part. What is reproduction and what are the major modes of reproduction? Okay, so what is reproduction? The process by which all living organisms give rise to individuals of their own kinds for the survival of their species on this planet is called reproduction. Students, if suppose we humans are fed up of reproduction, we will decide not to reproduce anymore. What will happen? After years, what happened, that human beings will be extinct from the earth. रहेंगे ही नहीं, बचेगा ही नहीं कोई human beings, सिर्फ और दूसरे organism रहेंगे, human beings बचेंगे ही नहीं earth पे. So we need to reproduce for the survival of our species on earth. So all the organisms reproduce for this main purpose, that is the survival of their species. This is the important part. Now reproduction is of 2 types, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction basically occurs in lower organisms and plants also. Plants also do asexual reproduction, and lower organisms also do, lower animals also do asexual reproduction. What are the major differences, or we can say how we can differentiate or how we can define asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction? Asexual reproduction, single parent is involved, only one parent is required for the reproduction. Whole reproduction processes are completed by the one parent only. But in sexual reproduction there are 2 parents, one male and another is female is required. No genetic variation is there because only one parent is involved. There is no genetic variation in the offsprings. कोई भी genetically variation नहीं होता. जो पेरेंट्स होता है वो एग्जैक्ट जो ऑफस्प्रिंग्स होता है, ऑफस्प्रिंग्स मीन्स द बेबीज are of the exact copy of their parents, exact copy होता है अपने parents के. While in sexual reproduction genetic variation is there. genetic variation होता है, 2 parents के genetic जो genes होता है वो mix होके एक नया organism बनाता है. Sex cells or gametes are not involved. In asexual reproduction there is no involvement of sex cells or gametes, while in sexual reproduction sex cells or gametes are involved. Means one male, I have told you, one male and one female, so one male sex and one female sex, one male gamete and one female gamete is involved in sexual reproduction. These are the major differences in sexual and asexual reproduction. Next is the modes of asexual reproduction, which is the important part, and these are very important for your section A, right? And differences and definitions. Firstly, the binary and the multiple fission. Second is budding. Third is fragmentation, regeneration, spore formation and vegetative propagation. The last one is very important. Firstly, the binary fission and the multiple fission. What is binary fission? Binary, bi means two, multiple means multi means many. When a single cell is divided into two daughter cell, that is binary fission. When a single cell is divided into many cells, that is multiple fission. Genetic material in the parent cells, as I have shown you in the GIF, what's happening? The single cell is dividing into two cells. It is the picture of binary fission, and this is the picture of multiple fission. Sorry, binary fission. It is also one cell is divided into 2 and 2 into 4, 4 into 8, this form. Understood? The parent cell's nucleus, firstly what will divide? Parent cell's nucleus, then divides into two equal amounts, and the middle cell gets constricted. See, the constriction is occurring here. This is the constriction occurring here, right? This is the constriction, and this constriction portion becomes more and more narrow until it split into two. It takes place among the simplest organisms like amoeba, paramecium and bacteria. When one cell divides into 4 daughter cells, it undergoes multiple fission. It occurs in chlorella and chlamydomonas. These are the forms of algae. These are the forms of protists, which we will discuss in the next class. Next is the budding. A new organism develops from an outgrowth called a bud on a parent's body. See, there is a outgrowth on the parent's body, and a new organism is growing from that outgrowth. This outgrowth is known as bud, and after maturation it gets separates from the body of the parent and it forms a individual organism. Budding occurs in yeast and hydra. Next is fragmentation. It is also a process of asexual reproduction. Body part of an organism divides into different fragments, and each fragment becomes a new organism. So in this new organism formed by the pieces of its parent's body. It is the parent. So it is the parent body. It is divided into fragments, and this fragment is again growing into a new organism. It occurs in fungi, plants, annelids, flatworms and sea star. In your book, Spirogyra is given as an example. Next is regeneration. It is a modified form of fragmentation, and in this the organisms like hydra, earthworm, flatworm, starfish can regrow or regenerate or the lost part or damaged part of their body. See, in this what is happening? The body is divided into two, and each part is giving rise to a new organism. In this, whole organisms can also regrow, or the lost part or the damaged part also regrow. Understood? Next is spore formation. See, these are the spores. Small ball like structures are called spores. It is kept in a sporangium. It is a sporangium in which all the spores are kept. In plants it is also found. The spores are below the surface of the leaves in sporangia, and each sporangia contains all the spores. What are spores? Some organisms like some types of fungi, algae, mosses and ferns reproduce by forming spores. Some bacteria also produce spores. Spores are the tiny cells, छोटे छोटे बहुत motile. Motile means movable और non motile होते हैं, या तो motile होते हैं या non motile भी हो सकते हैं, चलने वाले और नहीं चलने वाले. They are light, they can float in air or water and get carried to the different places. क्योंकि बहुत हल्के होते हैं तो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जा सकते हैं. When the conditions are suitable for the growth, like the right amount of moisture, when they get right condition, it is the important part. When they grow, they found suitable conditions like right amount of moisture, availability of food and warmth. The spores developed into new organism. Each spore forms a new organism. Understood? The last mode of asexual reproduction is vegetative propagation. What is vegetative propagation? Asexual reproduction carried out by the vegetative parts of plants like stems, branches, etc. See, there are two parts of a flower, of a plant, vegetative part and a reproductive part. The vegetative part are those which we eat. Vegetative sounds good now. Sounds similar. So vegetative parts are stems, branches, leaves, roots. These are the vegetative parts, while the reproductive part, which helps in reproduction, in sexual reproduction of plant, that is the flower, fruit, seed. Okay, so when the reproduction is occurring from these vegetative parts, understood? Vegetative parts are these: stem, branches, roots, leaves, etc. आगे नहीं लिखा है मैंने. So these, when the reproduction is occurring through these parts, it is known as vegetative propagation. These are of two types, natural and artificial. दो तरह से हो सकता है, natural तरीके से भी और artificial तरीके से भी. From natural ways, naturally occurs through the tubers, stolons, suckers, rhizomes or bulbs. Examples are also given along with the names: potato, strawberry, banana, ginger, onion. These are the examples. And artificial methods are cutting, grafting, tissue cultures are the artificial methods of vegetative propagation. I am explaining firstly the natural methods which occurs naturally, the vegetative propagation methods which are occurring naturally from the tubers. See, you have seen in potato this type of tubers, and each tuber can grow a new plant. Understood? There are many other examples also. Leaves also. Bryophyllum is a plant, bryophyllum, which grows from the sides of the leaves. Another is the stolon. See, these are the stolon part. These stems. From a main plant, a stem is coming out, and it is growing into another plant. It is known as stolon. Suckers in banana tree, it is the main part of banana tree, and small plants like structures, like in budding I have shown you the bud from the body. Similarly, sucker is there which is coming out, and when it is been buried in the soil, it is forming a new plant. Rhizome. In ginger, it is found the rhizomes from the sides of the ginger. You can see these types of leaf-like structures which can grow into a new plant. And the bulbs, you have seen at your homes also many times. When onion kept for many days, you can see the green plants coming out from them. Next is the artificial method which we do artificially, like grafting. In this method, consists of attaching or tying up scion and stalk. We cut two different plants and tie it up with different plants. Scion is a cutting of the young stem. This is the scion part, and the stalk, which is rooted. This part is rooted inside the soil. The two parts join up after a few days and then grow as a single plant. We kept it like this and then tie it up. This is the plant of desired quality. These are the desired qualities plant which we want. Some qualities are in it and some are in it, and we want both the characteristics in the same plant, so we are merging it up. The scion is also known as graft. So what is the scion? Scion is the cutting of the young stem, this part, and the stalk is the rooted part, and it is also known as graft. Scion is also known as graft. That is why we are calling it grafting. It occurs in mango and rose. We do it in mangoes and rose for getting a better quality of mango and better quality of rose. Next is the cutting. We do it in many in our day to day life. हमारे घरों में भी हम लोग करते हैं कि एक stem, we cut a stem from a growing plant and plant it in the moist soil. What happens after some time? It grows roots and shoot and grows as an independent plant, like in mango, sugarcane, rose. There is another term, another method which is known as layering. It is also part of cutting a portion of one of the lowest branch of a plant. We cut the lowest branch of a plant which is bending downwards and touches the soil, and we remove our bark of that portion of soil, portion of that branch, and then cover it with the soil. We keep a heavy object on that branch. Once the branch strikes root, it cut off from the main plant and grown separately. The lowest, what in layering it is important, layering is important. What we do is we take the lowest branch which is touching the soil. This method is done in lemon, rose and jasmine. The last and most important one is tissue culture. Many questions have been came in the last year question paper. The plant, what is tissue culture? This is the definition. The plant tissues are cultured on a growth medium containing various soils, nutrients. We are growing the plant in artificially in a lab condition. This is tissue culture. Antibiotic and a plant hormone in a sterile, germ-free. Sterile means germ-free environment in laboratories. This technique is known as tissue culture or micropropagation. What is we are doing? This is a plant. We are taking a part of that plant, very little part of the plant, which is known as explant. These isolated cells are then grown in this is known as petri dish, in which we have kept salts, nutrients, antibiotics, plant hormones, and after some time when we have kept it in a sterile condition, germ free condition, we are keeping it, it will grow into callus बन जाएगा. जब एक cellular mass बन जाएगा, it is known as callus, and these callus again grows in small plantlets, you can see, and when the roots and shoots have arrived, we will transfer it into the soil, and in this way a new plant from the cells are growing. We have grown plants with seeds, with stems, right? But in this cells, only the cells are growing into a new plant by artificial conditions we are providing. This is known as tissue culture. The plant hormones which are important are auxin, which promotes growth of root, and cytokinin, which promotes shoot of the plant. Very important questions these are. Last year it has been came. Okay, now the advantages and disadvantages of vegetative propagation, very important. Advantages, firstly advantages मतलब क्या फ़ायदे हैं vegetative propagation के? It is responsible for the continuation of the plant species that cannot produce seeds. Seeds जिनमें नहीं बनती हैं उनको ग्रो करने में ये जो vegetative propagation है helpful होता है. Then plants are capable of this mode of reproduction can survive unfavorable conditions also. Unfavorable conditions में भी plant survive कर जाते हैं. Such plants attain maturity earlier. जो वेजिटेटिव प्रोपगेशन के थ्रू कराए जाते हैं प्लांट्स ग्रो, दे कैन ग्रो अर्लियर, दे कैन मैच्योर अर्लियर फ्रॉम सीड्स. वेजिटेटिव प्रोपगेशन कैन यूज टू कल्टिवेट प्लांट्स ऑफ certain desirable features. As I have told you in the grafting and layering, the qualities which are desired in some plant and another plant, we merge them and get the new species which all the desired features. Disadvantages are also there. Lack of genetic variation creates weaker, as there is no genetic variation, the plant became weaker and more prone to diseases and pests. Large number of seeds cannot disperse because in this method many seeds are forming, but they are not able to disperse properly. That is why they do not go very far from the parent plant, which in turn increases the competition for nutrition, other resources among the plants and the same species. एक ही जगह पे बहुत सारी सीड्स अगर पड़ी होंगी तो क्या होगा, सारी सीड्स थोड़ी ना ग्रो कर पाएंगी. जितना स्पेस होगा, जितना न्यूट्रिएंट उसको मिलेगा, तो कुछ ही प्लांट्स, कुछ ही सीड्स ग्रो कर पाएंगी ना. तो दिस इज द disadvantages. Okay, this is all about your today's part of the chapter. In my next video I will teach you about the sexual reproduction in plants, how sexual reproduction occurs in plants. Do see the video till the last so that you are able to see all the concepts, and in my second video I will ask you questions from this part, part of the chapter, so that you will be able to connect the chapter from each other. Okay class, this is all about today. Thank you. stay safe,